There we go. All right. Welcome to the Mastermind Minutes for the Grow on Purpose Action Hour. I'm joined with Kelly Fox, and this month is all around legacy, and we were, chit-chatting about legacy and, well, our celebrations, and those talked about legacy and the events and things that Kelly has going on. So, Kelly, we were talking about you mentioning that when you think of legacy, you're thinking about the fact that you're helping rewrite your dad's legacy. And one of the things that I thought about is, one, I love that you recognize that that's happening. And I'm curious, like knowing that and planning out a 5K and like growing the mission of break the silence, like what else do you see, or how does that feel with knowing that you're changing your dad's legacy? Because you said you are changing yours while focusing on changing his.
Yeah. Well, it kind of, I mean, it all started because I wanted to do something different on today. So today is the anniversary of his suicide.
December
And
18th.
yeah, December
Yep.
18th. And it's 30 years today.
Wow.
And I wanted to do something different than be sad.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always going to be sad,
Right.
but I wanted to do something other than just be sad. And when I was young, but since it had happened, anyone who asked me about my dad and how he was doing, like at the beginning, oh, how's your dad doing? Well, he died. Well, how did he die? He committed suicide. They would turn around and walk away.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's, yeah. And that's all that people like there was so much judgment and so much shame associated with that. And I wanted his legacy. I wanted people, when they thought of my dad, to think of something completely different. I wanted them to think of, how kind he was and how service
Mm.
focused he was and how loving and compassionate he was, and that he was always willing to listen. um, and I wanted that to be his legacy, not this one choice that he made when he was in pain. And
Wow.
so, um, I started the fundraiser to raise money for the Suicide Prevention Task Force, because they provide support that we didn't have 30 years ago.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
I don't want families to go through what we did with no support, especially when they don't have to. So I wanted to raise awareness of the task force and what it does, but also raise money for it so that it can continue doing what it does. And so that's
Amazing.
how the fundraiser started. It was just a Facebook group and a silent auction. And now we did a 5K yesterday or
Yeah.
Saturday. We did a 5K, and
A walk or run,
yeah,
right?
whatever, as long as you didn't even have to do the whole thing. It
A
was
get
just
it, a
the
get it done 5K.
yeah. And so we did the 5K on Saturday, and then tonight is the speaker event, which is where we talk and break the silence around suicide. And and then all day today is our silent auction. So
Yeah.
it's become much more than a silent auction in a Facebook group. And
Oh,
next
isn't
year
that
we're going to become
interesting?
what?
Isn't that interesting? It started as a silent auction. Shh, we don't
Mm-mm.
talk about suicide. A silent auction. And now, like really looking at how Break the Silence is evolved and grown, it's like you're doing a 5K. You're out in the public. You're doing these, you're giving these opportunities to your local community to raise funds and awareness and questions about suicide and how we can prevent it. And it's so interesting that I was just like, oh my gosh, saying the words silent auction and then realizing that it's called Break the Silence. And have you ever thought about doing like an in-person event? You were gonna say maybe next year something. Were you gonna expand on your vision for next year?
Well, next year we're going to take the fundraiser and make it a actual nonprofit. So, we will have our own nonprofit. We will decide where our funds go. We'll be able to, um, offer money to more than just one organization that does, suicide prevention work. And hopefully we'll get to the point where we can create, task force or loss teams in areas that they don't have them. So that, more people are being able to be supported and helped and, aren't left on their own like we were.
Yeah. I got goosebumps on my legs and arms. Can you see my hair? Can't really see it. It's
We
white.
have thought about doing, an in-person like dinner and an auction, right there. Um, but we're not at the point yet
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But I think the 5K it's our first in-person event,
Yeah.
and I think,
How'd that feel?
um, it was cool. We had a lot of community support. A lot of our items were donated. Um, that we needed, like the milk was donated, the pancake breakfast was completely donated with the plates and the silverware and the cups, and um um a good portion of our 5K t-shirt was donated, by the t-shirt company that made them.
Yeah.
They gave us, an amazing discount. And so, oh, and the coffee was donated by Starbucks. So, um, a
That's
lot
awesome.
of a lot of the costs were donated.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gave us an idea of how to do an in-person event and what would be the response. And I think that is definitely something that will come, but not probably next year. We'll stay with the 5K and see how it goes and build up the community support around that and get that to be really successful and bigger, and then look at possibly doing other, in-person events.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm gonna say this really quick because it's in my head before we turn down this part of it, but I just thought of having QR codes on your shirt that takes them to the podcast to give people support tools. So like a QR code printed on the sleeve or something of your shirt to direct them to the Fearless Generations podcast where you have so much content that could support people just, along the way. That was a fun idea. Okay.
That's something to think about.
That's something to think about. All right. Well, I love hearing more about the vision. I could go like run with the idea. You already know that I am when I say in person. Wait, I better not say it. I'm going to let you say it. Um, and I see that for you. I'm excited for tonight. I love hearing how it's growing and continues to grow and the support that you continue to gain, in the momentum of continuing to move on, with the events and pushing forward to like figure it out. So it's good. And I love that it's tying your legacy, your dad's legacy, and all in the community and what
Yeah.
you could do beyond that too.
Thanks.
Very cool. I love it.
Mhm.
I love you.